Okay, a little example of how Noah Road survives when I'm running a little low on cash. This is what I would call Noah Road's food bank. Before I run low on cash, I always have a favorite tree, and this is like a half a mile from where I camp. But you see the food under there? I always stash food around town. So that's always good. And since I live in Western PA, there's always like springs, but the town that I'm in doesn't have very many springs because it's pretty high for the state of Pennsylvania. And most of the springs are they're springs, but they're kind of like this. See how that's coming up from the ground? So it's useless for me. But you notice here, that's a spring where I can get some water. So I always learn where the springs are. But this spring's about empty. Johnsonburg, the other town over from here, has got better springs. But yeah, that's Noah Road's emergency food bank. So when I start to run low on money, I start stocking up on food. Which, if you are ever in a Noah Road situation, it's just an idea, And I think everybody should actually practice. Find little woods like this that doesn't have a bunch of no trespassing signs. Little places that are places where nobody seems to really pay attention or notice. And of course, where there's no homeless people. And stash some food. Some food doesn't survive the freezing process. Like that ravioli I stashed. That's good in the summertime, but once it freezes like a block of ice and then it thaws in the springtime, the continuity or the consistency of it breaks down and it gets kind of nasty. But that'll be good to the end of the year, you know what I mean, until it gets frozen. So that's what I do. I'll gradually, stop by stores, grab an extra 4 or 5 cans of food, hide them in certain places around town in case I ever get into a jam. And I usually do that when I don't have quite as much money to eat on. But well, anyways, I had a good workout today and I'm just on my way back to camp a little early. Just thought I'd touch base with people that may be following my channel and just kind of giving them a little Noah Road prepper's tip, about stashing food. Always think about that. Have little extras, If you have an apartment, have a stash, but also take the time to kind of notice, the world around you, the town around you. And if you're in a town that's small enough, if it's too big of a city, I mean, what are you going to do? I think people should get out of the cities, frankly. But if you're in a town that's small enough and it's got some wooded areas and it doesn't have any trespassing signs or nothing like that, which this is a wooded area. Clearly somebody owns it, it's private property, I'm sure, but whoever owns it doesn't put a bunch of signs up. So, and it's really close to like the railroad track. So I just kind of, shimmy in really quick and I just have 6 or 8 cans of ravioli and 5 or 6 cans of tuna and a couple of jars of peanut butter. And I just kind of stash them underneath that tree. And when times are a little rough, and I need it, I can always go back and get it. And you could do the same thing, and you can start to think like that. And, you got to kind of adapt and overcome, like the Marines say. And, we never know when we're going to have another crisis that's worse than 2020. So it's just, something to think about. And it's also just, for people who follow my channel, what does Noah Road do during the day? How does he survive and stuff? That's one of the many methods that I use to survive. All right, well, pretty soon we're going to get berry season. I can't wait for that. And after the berry season's over, we're going to have apple season. That always helps. And I don't know what I'm going to do this year for winter. Well, if all goes well with Noah Road and my phone don't crash or get stolen or broke, and I can continue to upload videos, I will. All right. Or else, if nothing happens to Noah Road, of course, I don't take my mortality for, my life for granted or anything. I always always kind of reflect on my mortality every single day. I kind of reflect on it, I think about it, I try to find a way to even be more humble. You know, that doesn't mean get down on the ground so people can step over you. Just, you know, humble before God, you know, that kind of thing. So, well, just touching base in a nice little set of woods that I always pass through on my way back to camp. No road, over and out for now.